Radio 106.2 FM. Very pleased to be back on the airwaves again with Sadat here in the studio, and I believe Bidan and Rashid on the phone. So, firstly, Sadat, salams.
Salam, how are you?
Try that again, salams.
You always do that to me.
No, no,
Walaikum salam.
Yeah, good, good. On the phone, Rashid, are we there?
Malcolm, I'm here.
Yeah, Bidan, are you there?
I am indeed.
Excellent. I love it when the technology all works. Welcome to the show. Lots and lots to talk about. Lots of controversy in the football, especially over this weekend.
Really?
All three, all of our teams have lost, and by all of our teams, I mean both United and Liverpool. And yeah, some dubious decisions. It's really interesting, and we'll talk about this more in the second half. But really interesting how we're actually getting. Man United fans are giving a little bit of sympathy to Liverpool.
We need more than a half. Well, look, it's not pro-Liverpool or they were done by it. It's anti-VAR, and we've been shouting about it before.
Yeah,
we even laughed at Ten Hag when he said it wasn't offside when Garnacho scored, and we said, "Hang on, he might be right."
Technology, yeah. Rashid, even you've been a little bit, I don't know, like you've not been ruthless. You've just been like, yeah, that's a bit harsh.
No, well, because the issue has been, it's happened to a lot of clubs over the last couple of seasons. And it's not just that. The standard of officiating, we all know, all football fans say all the time, right? It's depressingly bad. And then when managers and players bring it up, they've shut down automatically, and they get fined and get all sorts done to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
How many times has there been an apology? 3 times, 4 times apologies? I can't remember. I had too many apologies.
There's not been many. And Bidsy, like, I don't know if you saw the pundits after the match saying that was clearly onside, and the PGMOL just need to come out and say, look, if they've made a mistake, they need to say they've made a mistake, and they came out and said we made a mistake, and then they just got ripped. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you guys want?
I mean, look, no matter what way you look at it, it was an absolutely awful decision, because I was watching it and I was on the phone to my brother and I was like, oh, Liverpool has scored, but then the flag went up.
And then you were still right, yeah.
And I was like, oh, brilliant, it's been disallowed. But then I watched the replay cover, went, oh, I was actually onside. So,
and then it said, welcome, check complete.
And then basically the game kicked off. And I said to my brother, hold on, have they kicked off and they've disallowed that goal? And it was just like, again, like it's like I said to you, obviously I'm a United fan, but still you've got to sort of speak about sort of what is, what is right and what is wrong, because United had a decision. The Garnacho one, it's not just sour grapes. I do honestly believe the line was drawn in the wrong place from Gabriel, because his head was ahead of his shoulder from where the line was drawn, and it's like what Rash said.
Well, it's more weight now, isn't it? In the argument, we thought, it's technology, can't be wrong.
But I do feel sorry a bit for the refs, because they get pressure when they take 3 minutes to make a decision. And they get a lot of stick, and every decision they make is scrutinized, but they also want to keep the pace of the game up. But you can't not. From what I heard, I think there was a bit of a miscommunication between the VAR.
We'll come back. We'll come back and unpick it. I think we'll try.
Off and it was supposed to say
there's lots to be talking about there. Let's start with one or two other things. So the Cricket World Cup. I know you're
starting on Thursday.
You absolutely cannot wait, Sadat, and Rashid. I trust you'll be keeping us up to speed with all the latest scores and all the beasties that happen during the World Cup. Bidsy, do you follow it much? Do you follow England or India or anyone else?
I'd be lying if I said I'd be tuning in. I mean, the only time I ever, if India ever get a good result, the only time I ever hear about it is when I get a congratulations and I'm like, I can't believe it.
Okay, no, I just wanted to know where to pitch the next part, because the next part I wanted to pitch was about the squad selection, and the big issue was with a gaping hole in the bowling attack for Pakistan, and they've gone for Hassan Ali.
Yeah. Well, we said with the week before it was the chat about getting Mohammed Amir back, and we quickly said no. Exactly, that was our answer straight away, wasn't it? And
but Rashid, you made the point that they left the best, one of the best spinners in the world back home. Like, who are you talking about?
Abrar.
And
Abrar Ahmed, he plays Test cricket for Pakistan.
He's on reserve, isn't he?
He's on reserve. I mean, he's one of the finest leg spinners in the world. His record's absolutely amazing, right? And this is the thing. I mean, Sadat is brilliant, and he has a great record, and he's also, an all-round, great all-round and all the rest of it. But in the last 6 months, his form, in terms of wicket taking, his dip has been abysmal. And the World Cup's been playing in India, right? And it's generally going to turn. Not all pitches will, but this guy he's like a strike ball. He's like Adil Rashid, right? Absolutely brilliant. Now he should have been allowed to be playing, white ball cricket and seeing how he does.
Sure, yeah.
Test him out.
And this is the thing is, Pakistan are at their best when they have the most attacking lineup in terms of strike bowlers, and he's a strike bowler. So when one of your leading strike pace bowlers has gone out, you need somehow to replace that and replenish that. Now, if you can't get a like for like in terms of your pace attack, then look to see if you can replenish it in terms of your spin. Pakistan didn't do that.
Don't you think Salman Khan though should have got ahead of Hassan Ali? Because Salman Khan, I know he only played one game in that warm-up.
Salman Khan. You have people like Shahnawaz Dhani, you have Hasnain, who've all played and they all bowl over 90 mph. Pakistan have a battery of 9 fast bowlers. We've got the biggest. We have the most bowlers who can bowl over 90 miles per hour in international cricket. We do. And yet we're taking Hassan Ali because guess what? He's an all-rounder. Maybe he can swing the bat.
Like as an ex-cricketer, and Sadat, I know you still play a little bit of cricket, vets cricket and stuff like that. But if you've been facing pace for about 4 or 5 overs, and then all of a sudden a spinner comes on, yeah, like your eyes light up, but you're prone to giving it away. And I think with the pace that we have, it would really, suit somebody that came on after a spell and just mixed it up.
It's like at least tight at one end, and then it was loose at the other. You need it to be tight at both ends of bowling, and then you get a wicket, a mistake, if nothing else. I mean, I think an example when Pakistan just played New Zealand without Shaheen Shah Afridi. They got, I think they did it 5 overs spare. They could have done it much quicker before that. Of 300 and I can't remember what the exact score was. 350.
Yeah, they won it comfortably.
They could have got 400 New Zealand if they wanted to. And it is a bit worrying when you've got one bowler missing, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and you're thinking, well, hang on, the other bowlers are decent, but they got smashed.
The biggest example you give is Australia won. Australia have won 5 cricket World Cups, right? 5 ODI World Cups, right? And they always had Shane Warne, Gillespie, McGrath, Brett Lee, right?
Yeah.
Rounder. They had strike bowlers. Imran Khan in '92, strike bowlers.
Yeah.
Mushy. He brought. That was the first time.
Yeah.
What about India when they won it?
Let's not talk about that.
Are we just going to pretend India never won it? No. So look, I mean, this is the other thing. Like, so India last won it when it was in India, but England last won it when it was in England. Australia have won it in Australia. Like the home team.
Australia have won it in England.
I know Australia have won it lots of places, but they've definitely won it in Australia. Point being, like India obviously going to be super strong. Pakistan performance in the Asia Cup left a little bit. It looked a little bit lacking. Have you got high hopes, or is it just the usual euphoria that surrounds Pakistan when it comes to a World Cup?
For me,
yes.
I don't think Pakistan are going to do very well. I don't think they're getting out the group stages. I think the team isn't right, and I also think we have an issue with the captain. Pakistan play, what do you call it? Stats-based cricket. They don't know why England play fearless cricket.
So that you've heard this from Rashid before, right?
Yeah, we spoke about this.
So I mean, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, you got to back the stats. I'm a data guy.
Yeah, Pakistan can't play the fearless cricket. They haven't got the talent, maybe, is that fair enough to say, to do that? But they back their bowling, so they get the runs 250, 280, and they back the bowlers. Like you say, the fast bowlers that Pakistan have got 90 plus. They've always, every time, backed their bowling and said, we get low score, we can win that.
No. Let me say this. That used to be the case. Imran Khan came PM, and then they changed the cricketing, structure. Everything's been turned out how Australia used to produce. We've got the PSL, and that's supremely successful. The players are there; they're just not being picked, and it's back to corruption.
PSL, you say successful? It's not been as if great players have come over there. I've been washed out players will be probably too harsh to say, but
we're not picking the right players, and it's systemic, it's structural. Pakistan can play.
I mean, PSL brought back Mohammed Sami, didn't we?
What allows you to play fearless cricket is can you attack? Can you have the bowling attack? We have the bowling attack. We're not playing one of the best leg spinners in the world, firstly, right? We're not the most quickest bowlers we have. Because you're playing in the subcontinent, right? The pitches may be dead, pitches may be weird, or whatever. So what cuts the pitches out is airspeed.
So I mean, just Rasha, just bring
90 and above.
Rasha, just bringing you back. Just want to bring you back. So I think a lot of your frustration stems from the spin bowler not coming in, but you're recognizing also that there's a lack of like real quality in the squad. Like we've definitely got one or two world beaters, but aside from that, we've got, like you say, statsmen, right?
You don't want Barbara Azam to come in too quickly. If try and do the attacking. For example, England, they lose 2-3 wickets early. They still got the batsmen and everything to pick it up and do it. Pakistan don't have that. If they expose Barbara too early,
Pakistan haven't developed them. Look at England.
But they don't have them at the moment. They haven't developed them.
I will say one more thing. Like if you have a team that has a successful opening partnership and a really good 3-4, then the players at 5, 6, 7, they just don't get the number of opportunities to win matches. And the way England play, England are crazy. Like sometimes they'll just blow the opponent away, and sometimes they will lose their wickets, and it will force 5, 6, 7 to come and actually make a decent stand. Whereas Pakistan, like you say, like they'll just tap and think, let's just play in the final overs. But you never get a situation where a number 7 batsman's got to come in and score 80 to win a match.
That's probably why we can stick with the spinner we've got, because he's going to score a few runs for us as well. We've had before with the wicket keepers who could score more runs, like Kamal. What was the brother's name now? He was open as well. Umar Akmal's brother, Cameron Akmal, but he was an awful wicketkeeper.
Shocking.
But we kept him in because he could bat a bit. It's just, Pakistan, yes, they should develop. They should start structurally working on and catch up with the other countries, nations, the way they play. But they can't at the moment. If you say to them that in this tournament they should start playing attacking like England, they wouldn't survive.
Yeah, I agree with everything Sadat Akram says.
But this is the thing. And if you continue down this trend, then when do you start? You're not going to win it. You just know you're not going to win it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say they're going to win it. Pakistan, yes, I you talk on paper and think, yeah, you don't see Pakistan winning this tournament. However, they're a team that can put together a good 4 or 5 games run. So if they start smashing the game early, you think, yeah, they're not going to win the World Cup because
it's kind of like
too early.
Yeah, you just.
But when they,
throw the cards
when they do win, even in the '92 World Cup or '98 World Cup, whichever it was, they lost the first 2 or 3 games. And if it weren't for the rain, against England, they wouldn't have qualified. And yet then they went on and they played smashingly against New Zealand.
You didn't have other teams that were, for example, in India, look at Sri Lanka's record. Won it in 90. Was it? The Sri Lanka won the World Cup. Was it 96? Whatever.
Was it 96? So, yeah, it was 96. I think it was.
And then in 2011 they got to the final. So a team like Sri Lanka, I would have. I say have a better record than Pakistan will.
I'll have to get demolished in the final in the Asia Cup at home to India.
Oh, that was the ground staff.
Well, and they got the 2011 World Cup to India. My point is this: Pakistan even didn't make the finals better than those two, did they?
Yeah, true. So there's one other thing I was going to say about Pakistan, and that is, and I feel this genuinely, like I think there's teams that would go to the World Cup thinking, let's go there, let's have a bit of fun, let's express ourselves, and let's see how far we go, right? And if they end up in the semi-final, that's like, oh, that was huge. We had a chance of getting to the final, and they really. Whereas with Pakistan, I just feel like it's either win or failure. Like there's no in between.
There's a lot of pressure on them.
There's a heck of a lot of pressure, and I feel like, and this is like just going back to what you said, Rashid, about how, we're not really trying players out. I feel like a World Cup for Pakistani international cricketers could be a career maker or a career ender. Like if they don't perform, they'll never be selected again. And if they do have one fantastic, especially if it's against India or Australia,
they could be the future prime minister.
They'll be the future prime minister. This is the thing. So there's a lot of pressure, I think, on the Pakistan cricket team. Let me just go through the squad, and we can just make comments. So Shadab Khan, Fakhr Zaman, Imam ul Haq. Nothing too controversial about their selection. Abdullah Shafiq. Have you seen much of him, Abdullah Shafiq? I don't recall.
He's a batsman. He can try to swing it. He tries to hit out.
Okay, fair enough.
You won't give him a chance.
There's Rizwan, Osama Mir. Again, how much has he done on the international stage? I mean, this looks like a team of new. I mean, I don't follow religiously, but this does look like
a mixture, isn't it?
Yeah,
of experience.
He got hammered against New Zealand. Go on.
Yeah.
Iftikhar Ahmed.
Yeah, he's a bit long in the tooth
Chacha.
now.
He's a bit-
Chacha. Even I call him
Sal
Chacha.
Shakil, Haris Raf. Haris, I think Haris is another one where, on his day he can devastate teams, but he's not really made the headlines
But
much.
again, I think Harris not capitalises, probably that's the wrong word, but Harris picks up quite a few wickets because of the Shaheen on the other side, because he's so tight that they take probably a bit more risk on Harris, and he's not a bad bowler.
Yeah,
Hardest, firstly, he's genuinely quick.
Yeah.
Well over the and he does take wickets. Yeah, he can go for runs, but if your bowler, if you've got strike bowlers, doesn't matter if they go front if you're going to take wickets. If you take wickets, that's all that matters, because then you're going to go. You're most likely to win the game.
yeah. It's either economy or strike rate. It has to be one or the other. I mean, you could have somebody bowling at 4 and over, and that's absolutely fine. If somebody's bowling at 7 and over, but is taking a wicket every 9-10 balls, you're more than happy.
Yeah, you're happy with
It's
that.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Who's this Muhammad Wasim Jr.?
He's played a few times.
He's
Yeah?
played. He's medium quick. He's not out and out quick. They're both about 85, 87 miles an hour.
Probably another
He's not-
Hassan Ali, to be honest, a younger
But
Hassan
the
Ali.
thing is, he's meant to have a decent. I mean, he's accurate in terms of these Yorkers, but that's it. He's not special. He's nothing special. He's not like you're gonna like. Oh my god, this guy's absolutely amazing. Like in like Shaheen or Haris Rauf or.
Sure.
We say that he'll probably be
Naseem.
leading wicket taker of the tournament.
Yeah, if he is, and then we'll come back on air and say we were wrong. Just one other thing. So, Rashid, we're just looking at the Pakistan squad. The image that you shared on the group a few days ago. If you look at that and squint your eyes, it looks like they've got 8 players that are Bruno Fernandes. And if you look at it from a distance, you just squint your eyes. It just looks like they've got Bruno, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Mohammad Wasim Jr., Bruno.
And Chacha.
What's going to take his pen then, isn't it?
Yeah, there's literally a goat team if they were playing football. Okay, any comments about England? England, I mean, they're gonna go in. They're gonna be confident, but again, Subcontinent World Cup.
I would like to think England will win the World Cup. I just think if like someone, with all due respect, I mean, and they're not trying to be rude. If Willie gets injured and then you can get Archer in, I think that will do it, because I think England have the squad. England have the squad.
So
Is Archer on the reserve?
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. Like, what is the issue with Archer? Because I agree with you. I think Jofra Archer's flipping.
He's injury prone.
He's like Darren Anderson. It's so injury, be like 6
Yeah.
note, right? He's missed so much cricket.
Yeah, but take him with the squad and just bring him in for the semi-final or something,
Well, no,
isn't
he's
it?
now finally fit, but he hasn't had much match practice at all. So if he can get a couple of games, and then if some rubbish player like like David Lee gets injured, right? And then what they can do is playing against the Netherlands and those sorts of teams, and then he gets 3-4 games under his belt, and then hopefully.
So we'll talk lots more about this next week because first game is Thursday, 5th of October.
England, New Zealand,
England
the final.
open with England and New Zealand, and then the World Cup proper starts the following day with Pakistan playing against the Netherlands. So we'll definitely watch that. Sorry?
That's a banana skin. That's a proper.
That's a
banana
potential banana skin. Do you reckon we're just going to go in there a little bit?
Yeah. Thinking we're all la-di-da-da, and we're going to get smoked.
So we look forward to talking about that more next week. Let's move on then. So the other big sporting event this weekend was the Ryder Cup, and
Is it all over?
It's all over. Yeah, it's all over. Europe have won. But there was a lot going on over the weekend. Rashid, I know you were following bits, and Bidsy, I don't know if you saw the altercation in the car park with Rory McIlroy. Did you follow any of the handbags that was going on?
No, I was just watching the scores come in, and I noticed that Europe obviously raced into a big early lead, and then they held it. But I didn't see any of the handbags or anything. But
Rashid, I think you were aware of some fallout.
And then there was the American player that wanted, all these rumours are coming out. The Americans infighting with the Americans, and then they were saying, why aren't we getting paid to play this and all of that? And then it just basically made you laugh, because finally the Americans all cracked. But then again, this is the Ryder Cup thing, that the Americans no longer can win outside of America. It's been 30 years since the Americans have won in Europe.
Yeah, so this whole thing about getting paid, and I think Zach Johnson said in his press conference, and it was really entertaining to watch him being questioned. So the rumor is that Patrick Cantlay was unhappy playing for the US Ryder Cup team because they weren't getting paid.
Hang on.
And
I thought you were talking about Man United then. Players not unhappy playing for some sort of team. What's going on here?
so Patrick Cantlay was the main. Yeah. So he was the main guy, right? And because he's so upset, he doesn't wear the team cap. So he's the only player in the American team that wasn't wearing a team cap while he was playing. So first, the question to Zach Johnson was, there's a report out that says that some players want to get paid. And he was like, oh, don't be ridiculous. And then a few questions later, they were like, what's the problem with Patrick Cantlay and his cap? Like, can you not find one that fits him? Like, it just feels like... And he's like, oh, yeah, no, he's got his own style. But, there was lots of European players that didn't wear a cap 2 years ago or 4 years ago, whatever. And he's just like deflecting. But it sounds like they knew the inside story. But the big thing that happened yesterday... So yesterday, Patrick Cantlay, again, seems to be in the middle of it all. He was in a match where if he makes the putt and the two Europeans miss their putt, then he wins the point and he brings the deficit down to 5 points. And it's a long putt. It's like 25 foot or 30 foot. It's one of those like you 70% make chance, 7% make chance. He makes the putt and his caddy celebrates, takes his cap off. He's swinging his cap. Then he's like explaining to Zach Johnson how the putt was made, and he's making a putting motion while he's holding the cap, and he's standing directly in Rory McIlroy's line. Rory McIlroy's got a putt to get a half. So Rory gets annoyed. They have a little hoo-ha, and then he keeps going on and on about it. Rory putts and misses. His partner, I think it might have been Fitzpatrick, or maybe McIntyre, but whatever. His partner putts and misses as well. No, actually, it was Justin Rose. So they both miss. Yeah, so they both miss. And then the altercation carries on into the car park, and actually, Rory McIlroy had to be manhandled away by Shane Lowry. Because he was about to get violent.
Swing his club, was he?
Literally, yeah. Well, he wasn't. Yeah, no clubs, but he had his fist balled up, and he was going at the American caddy. So lots of questions around that as well. I mean, it's not the spirit of the game, right? You talk about cricket being the gentleman's game, but golf is pretty much like it's pretty much up there. It's exactly the same. The whole purpose of the Ryder Cup is just European and American harmony, all that kind of stuff. So when you see things like that, like, it's really dramatic to see, and not what you expect on a golf, because you don't expect a golfer to be throwing punches. He didn't throw anything, but Rasha, does that how does that make you feel about Rory McIlroy? Because
Surmise that really well. My point would be, why aren't they getting paid though? That's my point. They make hundreds of millions throughout the Ryder Cup. They do, right?
Yeah.
It's huge. It's the biggest golf event, right? It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And you've got like 250,000 people turning up in Rome to watch these guys just practice the day before. So you're making a million, tens, hundreds of millions, right? Why can't you pay them?
Well, the PGA Tour and the European, so the DP World Tour, they get massive cuts from all the revenue. It's one of the biggest watched golfing tournaments in the world. Yeah. Like, people watch this more than they watch the Tour Championship or even some of the majors. I'm sure more people watch the Ryder Cup than the PGA Championship, for example.
This is like a World Cup final, almost, isn't it? It's so huge because it's two continents against each other, different styles and all that sorts of stuff, and it's always like. It's the biggest golfing event there is. You can now.
You're right. It's the one golfing event that non-golfers even tune into and just could follow and just like to follow. I remember before I used to play golf and watch golf, I used to still love the Ryder Cup. I used to watch it, literally start to finish. I used to absolutely love it. So the point is this, like golfers, especially now with the Live Tour, the Saudi Tour, people are getting $40-50 million just to sign on to the tour. And then all the prize purses on the PGA Tour have gone up. All the prize purses on the DPA World Tour have gone up. So the people who make the cut for the Ryder Cup teams, they're usually in the top 15, 20, 30 in the world. And if you're top 30 in the world, then last year's earnings will probably be about $10 to $15 million anyway. So it's not like these people are struggling for money. But I get what you're saying, Rashid, which is just give them a notional amount. Give them $150,000 a day or something. Over 3 days, it's $500,000. That's not going to break the bank for either of the tours, and it will cut out all the crap, won't it?
Not only that, you can say this, right? So it's like tennis or whatever. If you win, a huge tournament, you get so much money, right? So you can say, the team that wins will get 10 million. They share 10 million, 20 million, 30 million between them, right?
Yeah.
That gives an incentive to turn up and really go for it because you're getting huge bonuses. And at the end of the day, my point would be is this: people they're expending their labour, right?
Yeah.
They're working hard, right? They're playing. So surely they should just get being paid.
Oh, there's a socialist coming out now. Yeah,
No,
they
but
need to be
they-
adequately compensated for their labour.
Maybe Saudi should host it and they'll pay
right?
them.
Surely that you'd think that, wouldn't you?
So Europe go on to win the Ryder Cup. I think in the end it was it 16.5, 11.5, something like that. Rahm was all square. Hovland won his singles. McIlroy won his singles. McIlroy won.
US haven't won it since '98, and it had it here in Europe, I believe.
Yeah, exactly that. McIlroy won 4 points out of 5. That's his own personal record. And then Fleetwood and McIntyre won as well, their anchor legs. So yeah, great result, and looking forward to some more golf over the coming weeks. We're going to head into a break now, guys. Don't go away. When we come back, we're going to be talking all things football, and in particular that Tottenham-Liverpool match, which I know a lot of people are itching to, certainly I am, talk about. So join us in about 4 minutes.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
At Master's Pharmacy, we put your health and convenience first. We offer free blood pressure checks and blister-packed medication. With our free same-day prescription delivery service, you can have your medication when you need it. We also offer travel vaccinations, including Hajj and Umrah, along with other services to meet all your pharmacy needs. For more information, contact Master's Pharmacy on 01733 567 208 or visit us at 303 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PH.
Masterminds Tuition Academy is for your high schoolers, your something to provers, your subject strugglers and keen learners, your brave jumpers and fist pumpers. Affordable personalised learning plans are delivered through our centres in schools across Peterborough. But not to worry, we also provide online and home visits with flexible timings. Whether it is maths, English, science or 11+, Masterminds is a must. Find us on all socials and visit our website mastermindstuitionacademy.com or call us on 07516 166 003. Masterminds, master the matrix.
Mar food store Lincoln Road triangle te inna rush o balle hoye tusani amba ne pure mulke vich rolle
पाकिस्तानी सौगातां जी अंब ले लो जामनू ले लो पाकिस्तानी ताजे मिठे अंब ते जामनू आ गए जी
ਯਕੀਨ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਨਾ ਮਾਰ ਫੂਡ ਸਟੋਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਵਰਿਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਬ੍ਰਾਂਡ ਦਾ ਅੰਬ ਮੰਗਵਾ ਕੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਯੂਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਸ਼ ਲਵਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨੀ ਜਾਮਨੂ ਵੀ ਭਾਈ ਉਹ ਜਨੇ ਨੇ ਆ ਪੁੱਤਰ
Amar Food Stores, Al Mashu, fresh halal meat and groceries. Address 613B Lincoln Road, Triangle, Peterborough. Telephone 01733 687374. Amar Food Stores, Meyar ka naam, Munasib Dam.
Thinking of laser hair removal but worried about cost? Well Skin Clinic, Peterborough's #1 aesthetic clinic, offers 0% finance on courses of laser hair removal. We perform thousands of treatments using the Soprano titanium in our prestigious clinic. Virtually pain-free and suitable for all skin types, our team of aesthetic professionals can help you achieve your goals affordably. Well Skin Clinic, making life-changing aesthetic treatments affordable for all. 40 Cowgate, Peterborough. Call or WhatsApp us on 01733 555540. Satisfy your cravings at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant. Enjoy a tantalising variety of Chinese, Italian, Pakistani and comfort food favourites, from starters to desserts. Kids under 5 dine for free, so bring the whole family to our restaurant at 63 Sycamore Avenue. Open every day from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Call us on 01733 313131 or book online to reserve your table. Ibrahimi-restaurant.co.uk. Every bite is a delight at Ibrahimi Buffet Restaurant.
You could be driving, you might be cooking, you could even be working. But whatever you're doing, you're also listening to Salaam Radio. And if you're in business, your potential new customers could be listening too. So talk to them and let them know what you have to offer. Advertising on Salaam Radio is affordable and effective. And by doing so, you're also supporting this valuable and important voice within the community. Call 07866 319 679 or find Salaam Radio online and across social media.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
This is indeed Salaam Radio, and we are back and we are live, 106.2 FM. Thank you so much for interacting with the show so far. We're going to move on to the football and the big talking point. Should we just go straight into it?
Yeah, FC Peterborough won.
FC Peterborough
the
won.
top of the league.
I was talking about Wolves against Man City. Like, what a result for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Winning at Wolves isn't for everyone, is it, Rashid?
Yeah,
no, that was a shock result, wasn't it? Early in the day, shock result. Wolves, they're a decent team, but they've not really been, they've not come out of the blocks.
Yes, and no. To me, what it shows, it's what, with all due respect, it's what's his name, Rodri is to City what maybe Roy Keane was to United.
Rodri's a huge player, obviously a big miss. But
he's suspended and they've lost both games. So they lost against Newcastle midweek. They lost yesterday.
Different team against Newcastle, that wasn't it?
And now next week they're playing Arsenal, and he's going to be missing that game. And without KDB either,
their
midfield looks very brittle.
Was that home or away against Arsenal?
I think it's all. I don't know, but I think
they were away this weekend, so they might. I don't know. They were away this weekend. They might be home. Who knows?
That KDB and Rodri, and the thing is, and Arsenal will have Rice playing.
So, Bidan, we'll bring you in because obviously you've been a little bit quiet in the first half of the show. But do you see anyone other than Man City winning the league, especially given the result yesterday and the fact that they're, it does look like they're heavily reliant on those two players, KDB and Rodri?
I think that the only thing that stopped it, I'll agree with what Gary Neville said, is that the only hope that I've got is that no one's ever done 4 in a row before, and could this City team be the first? But then again, no one's done the domestic treble before City did it. No one's done the domestic treble and the European Cup treble, together, and this City side have done it. So I just can't see past them because they just seem to win with the minimum amount of fuss. Yeah, I know that they've lost back-to-back games, albeit one was in the League Cup, but they just seem to be, like I said, so far ahead of everyone else. I mean, the only thing that I would say is that Liverpool seem to have re-emerged somewhat this season. I mean, look, yesterday's result aside, you can't really read that much into that, I don't think. But I do think Liverpool have shown that they can last the course, so they'll run City close. And if Arsenal, can have a better April than they did last year, then they might run City closer.
And Spurs are also looking impressive, I think, early doors.
Spurs look okay. Spurs look okay as well. But I do expect City to win. It'll be a shock if they don't, I think. But yeah, I think that there's no stopping those guys.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go as far as this. I would say City should win it, but I don't expect them necessarily to. Because if they get injuries, right, and it's shown without KDB and what's his name, Rodri. They can be off it. My concern would be if Liverpool might win it because
which first City to win it.
So what's gonna?
Frankly, I don't want Liverpool because Liverpool actually do look good again.
Rashid, it's what would hurt more: City going on to win it 4 in a row, or Liverpool stopping them?
Liverpool stopping them.
Oh wow! Wow, that's who I'm surrounded by.
You match up for 20 titles.
Yeah.
The thing against City, there's an exclamation. There's an exclamation. There's a mark against City. 115 charges.
Yeah, fair play.
And we also know the UAE embassy has been lobbying the British embassy about City. So there's a question mark against City. But I'm not bothered about City because it's plastic. Whereas Liverpool,
proper club.
20 total.
Yeah,
I don't want you to have 20 titles. I can't deal with that.
Okay, so Freddie Beebe's text in saying, can we please talk about the fact that Liverpool were robbed yesterday? Liverpool had a chance to go top of the league. They were unbeaten before yesterday. We've got 2 red cards, a disallowed goal for offside, and
so that was
a 96th minute own goal. That's what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on, Bidan.
Is that I don't understand this whole like Gary Neville, right? I think I'm convinced he does this thing where he'll be blatantly like biased towards Liverpool to kind of bat away any.
I heard that all yesterday. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so that Curtis Jones, I'm sorry, he could have broken the guy's leg. I'm sorry, but
could have killed the fella.
It could have killed him. It's not like Casemiro's against Southampton, where it's like, you know, he's gone over the top of the ball accidentally and got sent off. I think that was a unjust sending off. But the Curtis Jones one, I think he barely touches the top of the ball, and I think that's a definite red card. The Jota I feel sorry for, because that one where
the first
he accidentally brushes, the first yellow was not a yellow card.
But I don't think his first yellow was just because of that. It was because there was quite a few tackles that he made. It was a consistent fouling.
Look, the two sending offs were sending offs, right? Jota for the first yellow card, yeah, he was very unlucky. But mate, you're on a yellow card. You're down to 10 men. What are you playing at?
Agree with Rashid.
How many times?
Oh yeah, once he's got the yellow card.
How many times has the referee not given like a second yellow in quick succession?
Yeah.
You see that a lot in football, and I think the referee, having given a harsh first yellow card, I'd have let Jota off the second one.
Oh right, okay. But I mean, and okay, so let's unpick this. Sadat, I'm going to bring you in. Sadat, I'm going to bring you in. Firstly, red card or no red card? We know it was given. Would you have given it based on what you saw?
I would have, if the referee who was playing in the game gave it a yellow, I think it was a yellow.
Okay.
I think he had no choice once they told him to go back and have a look at it, that it was going to be a red.
Yeah, so about the replay then, Bidan. So I saw the footage of the referee going over to the screen, and the screen was frozen at the point where, was it Basuma? It was Basuma, and they got the tackle, was it?
Not
whatever, the Tottenham player's leg was bent with Jones's foot
studs,
on it, studs on top of it, and it was frozen at that point. And a lot of pundits, not just Gary Neville, but a lot of pundits have said, look, when you play football, sometimes you try and pull that ball back, and if your foot slides over the ball, there's no pressure on your foot. It just ends up, touching a shin. It wasn't a malicious tackle. Do you think that was fair? Do you think they should have paused it at that point?
I don't think it makes a difference, to be honest with you. I think that, look, what you see is what you see. You see his leg, and also for me, recklessness doesn't suffice as so intention. Is what Gary Neville said. He says you're not intended to do him there, but recklessness is enough for a red card, and recklessness is, like, as Rash will know, is when you do something with the absence of intention, you still do that thing, and it's a potential leg-breaking challenge here. So I think he should have been sent off. And also, the whole point of, the first picture he saw, was of the studs halfway up his shin or whatever, or near his ankle, right? But it was...
Are we saying he didn't get to see the whole thing after that?
And he saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, so as far as I'm concerned, Curtis Jones is banged to rights.
Yeah, okay, so...
It's a red.
I think the three of you think it's a red. I think I can see why a red was given, but honestly, and I think you said this earlier off air as well. You said if it had stuck with the yellow, it wouldn't have been the worst decision in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's one of those where it could have potentially gone either way. Just as a Liverpool fan, though, we've had Van Dijk being sent off for what was goals. It was a goal scoring chance, probably letter of the law, but you don't see that very often, and it's happened. And then McAllister had a red card, and then it was rescinded. And we got away with those two in terms of we managed to carve out a result. And this one ultimately cost us. Even with the Jota, I know what you're saying, Bidan, about the first one. He was very unlucky, but you don't go to ground like that. Why are you going to ground?
You've just been booked.
Yeah,
silly.
We are going to go into a short break for the Maghrib Azan prayer in just over a minute. But before we do, Rashid, talk us through what's happened with this offside goal, no goal, Luis Diaz.
Well, this is the thing. For some reason, the guys sitting in the VAR, right, they were either asleep or I don't know what they were doing. They assumed somehow, for some reason, that it was already given a goal, and they wanted to just do a routine check. So they came back and said, stick with the on-field decision.
Yes.
Thinking for some reason they thought. And it's like, are you blind? Are you not seeing the game? Because clearly the linesman put his flag up. So, have you been to,
have you been to a football match before?
Yeah,
that's the question you ask them, isn't it?
They're all former referees. No, I'm sorry. They're all current referees in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or line people. So this is incompetence.
Okay, well, we're going to break now. We're going to break in about 10 seconds. We've had a really long message from Jamil, which I'll try and read in this break, and then we'll come back straight after the Maghrib Azan. So don't go away, guys. Be back in 4 minutes.
You're listening to Salaam Radio, and it's now time for Maghrib Azan. This Azan is sponsored by Park Foods. Come and see the difference.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back.
This is Salaam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio.
I did press stop on that. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Sports. We were talking about Tottenham versus Liverpool, Tottenham 2, Liverpool 1. I'm just going to read out Jamil's comments and then get your responses to this, Bidan and Rashid. He says, what a day yesterday. Great performance by FC Peterborough first team lads. Well-deserved win. Now, the point I want to make about the Liverpool game, one absolute shock of a decision, VAR. I think common sense in making decisions has gone out the window. Haven't got a problem with VAR making a mistake. It was more that no one at Stockley Park picked up on it. How can this happen? It's not one or two people there. I'm assuming there is a team of referees completely lost for words. It was a tremendous defensive performance by the back 4 and 5 later when Jota got sent off. Rashid.
Yeah, I just think this place has to be a watershed moment, and it can't be allowed to be swept on the carpet like with a couple of people suspended for a couple of weeks and brought back in. The heads have to roll. For a while now, and this is all football fans across the Premier League, there will be the top 6 or at the bottom, and all the rest. All football fans have been complaining that the standard refereeing is poor, and it has been. It's been poor for a very long time, for the past 3, 4, 5
Who's that? Who's that Man United fan who streams his reactions? Is it Mark Goldbridge or something?
Goldbridge,
Yeah. I mean, he did a piece yesterday. I don't know if you saw for TalkSport, and he said, "Look, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I love it. I absolutely love it that they, but it's like you say, it's a watershed moment for football, isn't it? Like, what can you believe?" He mentioned the handball. There was a handball at the Crystal Palace United game as well.
Yeah, so the ball was coming over towards Rashford, who would have been through in goal. But because the Tottenham player wasn't looking at the ball, he was looking at Rashford.
Palace player.
Apologies, Palace player. When it hit his arm, the ball, and they said, well, he didn't make himself big, obviously, because he wasn't looking at the game. He was looking over there, and though the ball got deflected and away.
And even today in the Forest Brentford game, the Brentford manager was like, "I just don't understand the rules anymore. I don't understand the rules."
He said it a few times.
And then the Brentford player,
the goalkeeper, the Brentford goalkeeper, chopped the Palace player.
No. It was the Forest keeper chopped the Brentford striker, because the Brentford striker's nicked it past him, and he's completely hacked him, and there's a defender on the line to clear the ball away.
Did we complain more before VAR or after VAR?
It's interesting.
Has VAR created more issues, or has VAR not peaked as much as we expected it?
The problem pre-VAR was, and you could say, look, with linesmen and even referees,
human error.
The game played at such a pace or whatever, you can miss things, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine because it's human, right? But when you've got technology there to aid you and you're not using technology correctly, and it's not like the first
human error
season,
still.
it's like the 3rd, 4th season now, right? And you're actually making such ridiculous mistakes. It's beyond belief. Yesterday's mistake was incompetence. It was utterly. You can't say this is borderline or whatever. It wasn't a subjective. It was clear. The naked eye could see, right?
Just like
the naked eye could see that Diaz was behind Romero. You could see it with the naked eye. So why is it it was because they weren't professional enough.
Yeah, there was a replay that went around the ground after the decision was made. I think the announcement. Sorry, Rasha, to cut you off, but the referee got in his ear, stick with the on-field decision, because the people looking at the review thought it was clearly onside, and they thought that the on-field decision was goal. So why they're not looking at the linesman? Why they're not looking at, and then the moment they've said stick with the on-field decision, and they've looked over, and it's 1-1, and Tottenham are taking a free kick. Why is somebody not saying, sorry, we thought the on-field decision was goal, because it was offside, don't stick with the on-field, we made a mistake. And he just blows up and says, sorry, I've misinterpreted. And then you fix it in the game. Like, I've seen VAR decisions take 10 minutes in some game when it first came in.
Yeah. It's like something like you're saying. They said stick with the on-field decision, and then walked away and gone for a coffee.
For a coffee, yeah.
And then come back and I think, what's going on? What's the score?
It was done in 40 seconds, and that's the sad thing about it. And you're thinking, what the hell is going on? And my broader point would be, Liverpool need to run with this. Do not allow this to settle. Bring it to the Premier League, to the Premier League as an institution, and say to them, right, we have no more faith in PGMOL, and not just the Premier League.
But it happened in the Champions League. Sorry to interrupt, but it also happened in the Champions League.
But the PFA, you stop one step at a time. The PFA need to say the same, and the Professional Managers Association all need to say we no longer have any faith in the PGMO, and they give them a vote of no confidence, which they then have to respond to, because if the players and the managers no longer, and the institution that you're working for, are following the rules for, have no longer any faith in you, you need to be put into special measures, just like a failing school.
Yeah,
just
like
Metropolitan Police, just like Birmingham City Council have been. They need to be put into special measures. You cannot have the game just being destroyed by incompetence.
Okay, Bidan, just going to bring you in. It was quite funny though, isn't it, that's happened to Liverpool?
No, do you know what? I don't think it is, to be honest with you. Like, someone said, oh, well, in the game at Anfield, Jota should have been sent off, and he scored the winner. So this is swings and roundabouts. I don't think that's the issue at all. I think what it is that is just sheer incompetence. A couple of things that I've seen is that, and I know you said there was a mix-up in the Champions League, but the Champions League system where they do the mock-ups, like, you know, a sort of a rendering, and they or in a computer, and then they do the offside that way. Apparently, we had the opportunity to bring that into the Premier League, but
it was the handball decision. Sorry, Bidden, wasn't it? In the Champions League, if I remember correctly, it was the Bruno Fernandes who handballed it, or they headed it onto his hand, and it was given not penalty. It said check over, complete. The commentator says check complete, not penalty, and then all of a sudden said, "Oh, hang on," they're reviewing it again, and they sent him to the monitor. And it was a penalty. Because the commentators, like Neville was saying, they get it here and they hear and they get told it's check complete. So the commentators reverted back and said check complete, no penalty. But then all of a sudden the ref, they go, hang on, we got check complete. What's going on here? Yeah. And they're going back to the monitor, which you know, right decision or wrong decision. But whatever they did there, they felt like no, that's an error. It's not check complete. It's done. That could have happened yesterday.
But I'm talking about for offside. They didn't draw the lines, did they? So I was just thinking if they can just do that quickly, because it seems to be done quicker in the Champions League, then that's a system that they should bring in. But I was speaking about what do you call it, offsides and VAR and just the whole thing to my friend, right? And me, I think that the technology is going to get better. The way that AI is moving forward, I think you'll be able to mock up one of these pictures and do it to within the accuracy of a pixel very short. Within, it could be months, given the way that AI is progressing. But one thing that I also said, and this might sound controversial, is that there seems to be this thing in sport where it's like the referee has to be on the field and the person in the stand is there to assist and all that. I don't agree with that. I think, why not have a referee in the stand, right, who has the final say, or referee at Stockley Park, and then the person on the pitch is the actual assistant, right, who helps them out and blows the whistle, blah, blah, blah. But the final say goes to the person in Stockley Park.
That's a radical thought. That's actually really interesting. No, I've seen no objection to that. Can you see a problem with that?
Well, if it's a foul, how long do you wait for every foul? Is he going to, the referee at the top's going to say, hold on, 10 seconds, 30 seconds before there's a foul?
No,
or is it going to be on these points?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, for example, you're having this situation now where effectively it's happening anyway, where they send him to the monitor and then he says, oh, right, you know, he has to go and overturn it there. Do you know what I mean? Because
when it goes to the monitor, automatically we know it's going to get overturned, which is wrong in itself.
Well, 9 times out of 10.
Well, okay, sorry, 9.5
so why not
out
just
of 10.
have the guy at Stockley Park say, no, that's a red card or whatever, send him off. Rather than, because that way it helps with the speed of the game, because they can be checking stuff and pull stuff back without having to, you know, have this rigmarole.
But the whole point of correct me if I'm wrong, the whole point of the monitor says, we're not sure if you've seen this is what we've seen. And then he has the opportunity, the ref say, no, I've seen that. And it's like, I believe he's touched the top of the ball and then onto the leg. I saw that.
Yeah. So Jamil's just come back. Sorry, Jamil's just come back and said goal line technology is the only thing that has worked. I agree with that. Like, that's something where
human error.
I know. No.
Human error. It's not the technology, is it? It's the human error, because the VAR would have worked yesterday. There's not an issue. It's the people who went for a coffee break and didn't realise that they sent the wrong message down.
Yeah.
And also Sheffield United got relegated because goal line technology didn't work.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah.
How are you allowed to go for a coffee break during a game?
No, wait. Rashid, wait. Let's okay. No. We think they've gone away. They should have stopped it. Nobody knows if they went for a coffee break. I was just saying.
Could have been a tea break. Could have been any other drink out there.
It's funny how we've spread a rumour now that they went for a coffee break, but it pretty much felt like it, Rashid. Like, let's say you've made a decision, Rashid, and you think, okay, that's perfectly legitimate. Go stick with the on-field decision, thinking it's 2-1, and then they take a free kick and it's 1-1, and you're thinking that's not what I meant. You'd be able to rectify it if you were still looking, right, and still communicating with the referee. But it felt like they'd gone away from their jobs. They'd walked away from their desks. They'd gone to the loo.
They thought somehow if they all go quiet, it will go away.
It would never. Yeah, it's just, that was like literally. I saw the replay. I was watching it with my son, and I saw the replay, and I said, "It's only a matter of time before they draw the lines, and that's a goal." Yeah. You know, literally, I saw the replay, and I was like, "Oh, that's a goal," because you know, at Spurs, those lines across the grass are super straight.
There has to be a process, right? The process should be right. It's been given offside. So what was the on-field decision? The on-field decision is this: right, here's the on-field decision. Now we're going to go through it, and we're going to see if the on-field decision is right.
Yeah, I
or
suppose,
wrong.
yeah.
I think they'll probably do something as simple as that. There probably was
Tick list.
That's foolproof. There's a checklist. There's a process that you go through to make sure it's it's foolproof. You're not going to make a stupid decision.
Yeah, to be honest, even at work we have a checklist for other people to do.
Yeah, checklists. The checklists are the way to go. You guys have done a fantastic job of stretching this conversation out so that we don't get to talk about any of the other results. So fair play to you. We've only got a minute left in the show, but just quickly again, Bidsy, I want to give you an opportunity. Like, what's going on at United? Like, what is? You should be winning against Palace. You beat them midweek. What's going on? You got 40 seconds.
It was two different teams. A lot of people are saying that, look, it's because Bruno and Rashford came back in and they're slowing us up. I don't think that's the case. The fact of the matter is we have got a lot of injuries, but we're not playing well also, so we just need to... I would like to reserve judgment until we get like Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Martinez back, and then just see how we do then. But if the problems persist with people like, with Rashford and Bruno, who seem to be getting scapegoated, then, maybe just switch it around a bit.
They're your best players. Honestly, I don't get it. Like, they're genuinely your best players.
Like Rashford, he's having some sort of brain freeze when he gets into the box. That's all I would say about him. But all the attacks is coming through Rashford. If we take him out, then
Rashford and Bruno are your best players, and I hate Bruno and I love Rashford. So we'll take Rashford if you want to get rid of him.
There's no Luke Shaw to do the overlapping.
All right, well, that's all we've got time for, guys. Thank you so much for joining on the phone. Thanks everyone for interacting, and we'll be back again next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Cheers, bye-bye.